Alright, how's it going, guys? We are back here in GT6 in my single player world, and today we're going to be taking a look at something new that is being added in the new update. This is one of a few mod up or GT6 update showcase videos, I guess we're going to call it. We're not really going to have any proper progression videos this week. I have been doing a lot of work getting testing stuff done for this new update. You guys might have seen the update testing streams that I've been doing on the server. And a lot of the testing is already done, but there's a few things like what we're looking at today that I really didn't need to test, but I wanted to check out and show you guys a bit about. And I guess it'll be a little bit of testing while we're checking it out. So one of the main changes going on in this episode, in this update, is going to be we now have Arsenic Copper and Arsenic Bronze. And we have the complete suite of decoration things. So you have Arsenic Copper chest. You should have the Arsenic Bronze chest, safes, workbenches, lockers, and all of that. We also have Arsenic Copper and Arsenic Bronze axles and pipes as well. They are item pipes. So they are 1 second and 2 seconds of bandwidth. So we'll take a look at those in a little bit. So versus the copper and bronze that are fluid pipes, Greg has chose to make these item pipes, which I could say we have more use for more variety when it comes to item pipes than we do fluid pipes anyways, so good with that. One of the main things that, you also have anvils, 100 and 200 durability, but one of the major changes to this comes to how you get arsenic. Because if we switch over to my other game I have open right now, which is a current update, and we look at arsenic dust here, arsenic dust. You got it from the roaster, from arsenopyrite, from cobaltite, railgar. That was the main way you got arsenic, other than in the electrolyzer from ShareAlike would also give you a bit of arsenic. When it came to the centrifuge and the sluice, it is only from actual arsenic ore, which does not exist in OreGen. Now, if we switch back over to our proper base here, you will notice that arsenic dust, when we click on it, we have the same roasting recipes for railgar and arsenic pyrite, cobaltite, but we can now, in the sluice, get it from native copper ore, has one tiny purified native arsenic ore chance. We also have melachite, which has one chance. We have nickelite that has one chance. And tetrahydrite that has one chance. And then this is the regular, again with a different fluid. So let's go back here to copper. And copper in the new update will be, let's look at the regular crushed here. So you have your regular copper that comes out. Then for your chances, you have 1 for cobaltite, 1 for gold, 1 for nickel, 1 for malachite, 1 for arsenic, and then you have 3 more for regular copper. Now, if we switch back over to this one and we look up copper in here, you will see that in the sluice it was, get to the main one, your normal copper, cobaltite, gold, nickel, malachite, and then 4 copper. So in this you will have less chances of getting copper as its own byproduct by 1 to give you the arsenic. So there's just 1 less copper there. And I'm quite sure that's probably the same with malachite, nicolite, and tetra as well. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other one here. And if we switch this over here, this centrifuge. Let's just look up tetra. Crushed tetra. Sluice. Yeah, instead of having 4 for tetra here, you have 3. And you get the arsenic. So that's the only real change with that. Now that I've got that done, let me go ahead and get rid of this other game for just a second. Okay, so basically the reason for the arsenic copper is because in reality, if I guess we'll call it IRL, bronze can be made with multiple different things. We have bismuth bronze, we have black bronze, we have regular bronze. This is a way of making bronze, is with copper and arsenic. But then you also have being able to put tin in there as well, which is why we also have the arsenic bronze, which is then just going to be the same thing as the copper bronze, but with a little bit of tin in it. So you'll see that our recipe for arsenic copper is 3 copper, 1 arsenic, just like our normal bronze recipe, but with arsenic instead of the tin. And this needs to be heated to 1070 because arsenic itself melts at 887 and will boil at 1090. So be very careful when making this that you don't have too much arsenic in there and go above the 1090, or you're going to vaporize your arsenic. And then the arsenic bronze recipe is going to be 4 bronze dust and an arsenic, and that'll give you 5 arsenic bronze. Now, there is also a recipe for arsenic copper and tin, so you should be able to just throw these all in at one time, and it'll make the arsenic bronze. So we're going to test that out today. So first thing we're going to do is 1, 2, 3, and an arsenic. And we will make some arsenic bronze real quick. And that should be arsenic. Actually, no, I think I cut that too early. Yep, I sure did. With as fast as this thing heats up, I wanted to be careful. So I just basically made an arsenic plate. Alright, let's try this again. When you guys are doing this, you will probably be doing it pretty early on, and you won't have to be quite as careful. There we go. That's the right color. So there we go. We have arsenic copper, which versus the regular bronze, you will notice that this has sharpness 1 and dissolving 5 on it. This makes for a really good material for killing slimes because of the dissolving on it, which means it should be really good for making spikes. Let's see if we can make spikes. Let's see. Did he add a... Oh, no, he didn't. He did not make a arsenic bronze or arsenic copper spike block. Well, that's something I'd like to see since it's so good at killing slimes. The regular one, the regular copper, if you look at it, it says it is, let's see, deals huge damage to any slime that touches it. So maybe it's not necessary. But if we look at copper, just go to a regular ingot here. Copper ingot has dissolving 4. So the extra arsenic gives it an extra level of dissolving. And I guess the spikes really don't need to be, because it does do a huge amount. But, you know, if we're going to have so much arsenic, why not? Anyways, so if you have like weapons, they'll have dissolving 5 on them. And now, let's go ahead and try to make a arsenic bronze. We just need 1 tin, 1 arsenic, and 3 copper. So let's heat this up. And we'll see if we can do this without making the arsenic copper or the bronze first, which we should have no issue with doing. There's the arsenic. There's the tin. So this means we have arsenic bronze. There it is. Alright, so we've now made the 2 new metals, the 2 new alloys, arsenic bronze and arsenic copper. The arsenic bronze actually has sharpness 1 and dissolving 7, so way better for slimes. But along with having all of the decorative things and the pipes, we also have burning boxes. So if we go back to arsenic, you will see we have burning boxes, we have boiler tanks, we have engines, and we have diesel engines. And we have rotational engine, transforming gearboxes, all those beautiful things. So let's take a look at the differences here. So if we look at the arsenic copper, well, let's just do this one step at a time. If we look up burning box, You still have your regular solid bismuth, your bronze, but now we have arsenic copper and arsenic bronze. The regular bronze is 75% efficiency at 24 heat units. The arsenic copper is 80% efficiency at 24 heat units. So it is actually better to go with a arsenic copper than it is a regular copper if you're doing that. Though getting arsenic early enough is probably not going to be viable for your second burning box, because typically you make your brick burning box first, and then you would go with a bronze burning box. You could go with lead, so you can get from the 25 to the 50% efficiency, same heat, but I typically skip the lead and go straight for bronze for my second one. Getting copper and tin isn't that difficult, but lead is a decent idea for a second step. I always use the brick one so that I don't have to hammer out a bunch of lead into plates and cook it in a furnace. I can just make a crucible and pour my plates. But getting the arsenic, because the arsenic is going to be coming from a byproduct of copper, tetra, and so on, you're going to need a cauldron to wash that ore in to try to get that byproduct. Though you only need 4 plates, which is one recipe, so you only need 1 arsenic dust to make the arsenic copper burning box. So if you can find a witch hut or something to get you a cauldron, or I wouldn't do iron in this. You could probably get away with doing iron in the lead, so you could make it, but I would definitely go with a regular bronze one first, and then upgrade that to arsenic bronze as soon as you make iron and get yourself a cauldron. And then above that, you have your arsenic bronze, which is 90% efficiency, and it's also a little bit more heat at 28. So this is an actually nice addition here. Gets you way more efficient than what the 75 was for the regular bronze. And it also gives you a little bit more heat without having to go for steel, which is 32, but it's 70% efficient. So depending on which way you want to go, this lowers that speed gap just a little bit there and makes it way more efficient. So it might be better for you to stick with the arsenic bronze rather than going to steel, depending on your fuel usage and how you're making your fuel for it. Now, along with that, we have our new boilers. So you have your bronze boiler, which is 24 to 48. You have your arsenic copper, which is the exact same 24 to 48. So you can interchange these if you get a bunch of arsenic and you want to make some arsenic copper instead of regular bronze for all your early steam machines that you're going to have. That would be a nice choice there. And then you also have your arsenic bronze, which uses 28 to 56. So this would actually give you a bump on the amount of steam that you have coming out of it. Instead of doing only 48 steam, you're going to get 56 steam. And then we need to look at engine. So up until this point, the go-to engine has been bronze because it's 50% efficient. It runs on anywhere from 24 to 96 KU out of it. And if you pair up a steel with a bronze engine, you can do the 16 KU that you need to run a crusher or sifter or whatever. There's an arsenic copper, which is still 50% efficient. Exactly the same statistics here for the input and the output. And then you have the arsenic bronze, which is a little bit higher. It can go to the 28 KU out if you give it 112 steam per tick. So it can go a little bit higher than what the bronze and the arsenic copper would. I don't know that I would ever honestly use an arsenic bronze one over a regular bronze one, other than if I just wanted to use up some excess arsenic. Because I still don't think that's going to be enough if you're running 28 KU is the minimum energy that it can put out. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the strong ones. Holy crap. I knew that looked wrong. Okay. So 24 to 96 for bronze. That looks much better. And to get the 16, you need a few bronze boilers for that. These are exactly the same. And the arsenic bronze is going to be 28 to 112. But if you're giving it 28 steam, that would be 1 boiler's worth. You're only going to be getting 7 KU out, which is not enough, just like a regular bronze one is only 6 KU out. So you're going to need a few boilers to get up there, and that's where we normally go with the steel one, or the steel boiler, to feed enough in for that for KU machines. Now, where I really think this is going to be better is the engines, because if we look up the steam, oh, he did not add a steam turbine for those. Okay, so you're still going to have that for the steam turbine. But for the rotational engines, or for the diesel engines, you have 100% efficient 16 RU. You have 100% efficiency 16 RU. So again, save yourself a little bit of copper, put a little bit of arsenic in, and you can make a equivalent to the regular diesel engine, bronze diesel engine, as an arsenic copper one. But if you want just a little bit more power out of it, you go with the arsenic bronze, which will give you 24 instead of 16. So again, that's going to lower that gap between bronze and steel. So if you don't have the steel to get you a little bit more speed out of your rotational machines, you can go with arsenic bronze and get 24 versus the 16 or the 32. So that's a nice little mid gap in there for those as well. And then you also have the rotational engine, which again, the copper arsenic copper is the same as regular bronze, and then your arsenic bronze is going to be exactly the same as well on this one. That one, for some reason, did not get the little bit extra boost that the diesel engines get or the steam engine. So let's go look at the item pipes now. So brass is what I always judge item pipes off of, because that's your basic tier 1 item pipe. Even though you have Constantin, which is also a tier 1, you have cobalt brass, which is a tier 1, germanium is a tier 1, and now you also have arsenic copper, which is a tier 1. All of them have exactly the same. Oh, actually, no, they don't. So that's different. So, from what I'm seeing here, unless this is a thing Greg did on accident, which we'll find out when the actual update comes out, the arsenic copper item pipe actually has a lower step size than every other item pipe of the tier 1 pipes. It is half the step size. So if you've seen my video about item pipes, the step size is how many blocks the item sees from one point to another. So if we had one pipe here and if we had a hopper, say here, a pipe and a chest, it thinks it has to take 16,000 steps to get to here. Well, for brass, it would be 32,768. Where this one, it thinks it only has 16,384, half of what it is for this. So you could have one arsenic copper pipe, which would be equal to 2 brass. At least in step sizes. Bandwidth is still the same, so I would still consider it a tier 1 item pipe, because it can still only do 1 stack a second. But it is going to be a quicker way, so you could actually use this opposite of a restrictive pipe, which adds a longer step size by a large amount. It's 100 times larger for a restrictive, but if you only wanted to make one chest a little bit more priority, you could put in a arsenic copper, which would give it a faster, and you wouldn't have to put in a restrictive. So you could do that differently. And this is going to be something that I definitely want to try out. I think we're actually going to do that here in just a minute. And then you have arsenic bronze, which is going to be the same step size as brass, but it's going to be 2 stacks a second. So this is going to be similar to the Electrum item pipe, but it's going to be slower on its step size, but faster at the same speed as far as how many things it can get through it. Interesting. So you could go with a arsenic bronze as a lightweight restrictive pipe for Electrum, or this could be a nice change of going from tier 1 straight into tier 2 because typically electrum is a little bit harder to get to because of all the gold and silver you need to make it. There's also sterling silver, but again, it requires silver. Rose gold requires gold. Agmelion, that's gold again. And then black bronze, which is electrum, and so again, gold and silver. Aluminum brass, we're not even going to talk about because that takes aluminum. Same with the cobalt brass, which also takes aluminum. So those aren't really viable early on. They're a decent option once you can get the aluminum processing done, but up until that point, they're not really a viable option. And by that point, I usually have so much brass pipes, I don't even bother with the other ones. Then you also have magnesium, which is the same as your electrum, and that's aluminum as well. And then we go into the platinums and stuff like that. So that will be interesting. I will have to do that, which I was going to do it here, but I just looked over when we've got 30 minutes of me rambling already in this video. So I think I'll go ahead and make something up and we can test that, if it'll work in another one, in another video. We are going to be having a video coming up in the next few days, if everything works out properly, where we do a showcase of the stuff I've been working on the server, along with a few other things that we didn't get to. Me and XAR should be making that hopefully today, tomorrow, whichever way you want to look at it here. So we'll get that out to you guys as soon as possible. But I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the new copper and arsenic copper and arsenic bronze. We will be putting this into the quest book as an option for burning boxes and stuff. Note that there is the mixture for anybody that wants to go that route. There is an arsenic copper compound where you can mix your dust to make the compound, and then you can cook that into the nuggets in a furnace, or you can throw the compound in a crucible as well, and you can make it that way. So if you don't want to take the chance of something melting, evaporating, not having the right ratio, you can make a mixing bowl and mix your dust or nuggets or scrap up that way as well, and go with the compound for the arsenic bronze and the arsenic copper, just like you can the regular bronze. I'm trying to find the compound here. There it is. So you got bronze compound, bismuth bronze compound. You now have the arsenic bronze compound, and you have the arsenic copper compound. So for anybody that remembers back when this was how we made our first bronze, and smelted it in a furnace, it is still a viable option, and it is for this stuff as well if you don't want to do the mathing. Anyways, have a good one. I will stop rambling now and see you guys next time. Have a good one.